car mechanics are finally speaking out about what really happened to modern Ford cars and trucks, and many say they aren't built like they used to be. Before we continue, I just want to say thank you for all the support lately. Watching this channel grow has been incredible, and our next milestone is 7,000 subscribers. If you enjoy these videos and want to help us get there, I'd really appreciate you subscribing. But with that being said, let's get back into the video.
Oh, just another fine example of why engineers suck. Today's flavor is Ford engineers. Have all this tore apart, body control module, the recirc assembly, metal brackets, the glove box, center console trim, kick panel trim, literally everything to get the blower motor out, which is stuff way up under the center of the dash. And even when you get everything out, it's still a pain in the butt to get out because it gets stuck in there. So 2019 Ford Escape, but yeah, engineers suck.
So I've got here a 2018 F-150, and this thing's got the 2.7 liter V6. And of course, we're replacing an engine oil pan on this thing because they always leak and they're one-time use pans, so you gotta buy a new pan every time you remove the old one. But check out this crazy thing right here. So we've got right here, this is the oil pickup. So this part of the oil pan, it fits into this right here on the oil pump. But if you follow the oil pump, they put a rubber belt to drive the oil pump. What in the world is this right here? If this little belt right here ever breaks on you, there goes your oil pressure and there goes your engine. And of course, you're not going to be able to replace that belt without taking apart the whole front of the engine, including the front timing chain. This just seems like such a cheap, cheesy design.
Can't imagine this ending well. 2021 Bronco Sport 1.5 liter. Today we are replacing the oil pan. Why are we replacing an oil pan? Well, because of fantastic spot welding. Broke during an oil change. How about that?
So, you own a Ford Transit van and you want to put a shock on it. No big deal, right? Just like any old car. 3 bolts up there I gotta get. Oh, where are they? They're not in there, I can guarantee that. Come this way. Well, normally it's a 3-hour job. It's turned into a fucking day. So go ahead and remove your dash, your shifter, all this fucking junk in the center. And then, once you remove the fucking fuse box or whatever it was that was under here, you now have access to these fucks. Oh God. You can't even see them. That's how fucking ruined it is. There's one way back in there. Yeah, well, there's 3 of them you gotta get to, just to get the strut out.
Dear Ford, I have a better idea.
This one tonight. We got a Ford Escape here, 2013. This car is terrible by itself. Another example of engineers just fucking with you. Like they just fuck with us. Like it could have been way better. So, looking at the coolant reservoir, I gotta replace the upper radiator hose, but that's beyond this video. So, I'm trying to figure out, right? Why the fuck would you make a coolant reservoir with the cap back there? Like, why?
Because I already know.
Why? Fucking why? Why, Ford? Why? Unnecessary. You could have did 2 fucking things. You could have put a cap right the fuck here, or you could have made a fucking reservoir that comes out to here and made it taller so it can sit there and hold the same capacity, and put the cap on the fucking top. This is fucking stupid. I'm fucking tired of these goddamn engineers. Fuck these new cars.
Ford did it again. Super common issue, Fords on all these edges, Tauruses. The water pump normally easy on most cars, right? It bolts to the front of the cover. Ford decided it's a good idea to put it behind the timing cover. See a ton of these, probably at least 1 a month, if not more. We got 2 in the shop right now. Basically, they made it so you got to spend $1,000 just to replace your water pump. You have to take the whole engine apart, valve covers, timing cover, and timing chain to replace your water pump on this. So if you got coolant leaking on your Ford Edge, Taurus, anything with the 3.5, need that repaired, give us a call. Quality Auto Repair, phone number is 530-605-4600.
Here we go again. Another stupid idea from Ford. Why? Why would they do that? Why? Oh, look, there's the other spark plug. Who puts the fucking filter here? It's hotter than Satan's dick.
See if this thing starts. Which obviously it will, because it's this thing. Not even a single issue, mate.
See this little Ford logo right here stamped on this thing? 2021 Ford Bronco, just finished the water pump at 60,000 miles. Check this out. Would you buy something like that? I think I would rather get in a car crash using my toolbox than I would with this Ford Bronco. This thing's a POS if you ask me. Yeah, I think if you get in a car crash with this, you'll probably die.
Alright, y'all. Don't buy Ford F-150. This is a 2023 Ford F-150. They got to rip the whole truck apart because they said one of the sensors on the AC housing is not working. So imagine you buy a brand new F-150 truck and they got to do all this stuff as soon as you buy it to make it work properly. But I would just want a new truck. Man, who, like, you know, at least one or two of them bolts is not going back. I've done a couple, you know, heater cores, and sometimes a few of those bolts, you know, they don't make it back. Look at all the work they got to do. This is crazy, man. Watch out for y'all go buy these new cars, man. This is don't even make no sense. They took the whole dashboard out for an AC sensor. Bruh, Ford, man, they gotta do better. I will watch out before I buy any new vehicle, especially these trucks. They just slapping them together because this is just crazy, man. The technicians don't want to do this work because the dealership don't really pay.
Ford, you're terrible. I don't even know how else to say it. I mean, you have to recall 250,000 models due to engine stall risk? You've been building cars pretty much the exact same way for over 100 years. And you still can't figure out how, just can't figure it out. Can't figure out how to put together a good engine that just is reliable along with the rest of the car and just, you know, even though that you've been doing it decade after decade after decade, you still can't figure it out. Every single week, there's more and more recalls. Why can't, and you guys have tens of billions of dollars in research behind you. And you mean to tell me after spending tens of billions of dollars, you still can't figure out how to build a car? I find it amazing. I find it fascinating. You know what else I find it? I find it lazy and just not caring. And trying to make a product that is as cheap as possible for as much money as possible. Did you ever stop and think that maybe, just maybe, that's the problem? Instead of focusing on building quality, you guys focus on making the cheapest car you can, making the most profit you can, which leads to all of this garbage over and over and over again. It's just a thought.
Reason 89,000 to why I hate Ford.
We'll let Milwaukee have a try at it. Oh god. Oh my god. Okay, let's try this. Oh God. Ford. 2019 Ford with 54K on it. Check engine light. Not sure why you guys are obsessed with these 5-liter Coyote motors, but I got a P0308 and I have, what, 34 running PSI? That's garbage. That's a piece of crap motor. Buy an LS. Be a man.
Ford is in the middle of a quality crisis. Ford is losing the trust of their consumers. So if someone's paying $81,000 for a truck, they're going to expect it to be of the highest quality possible when they're shelling out that kind of money for this kind of truck. So these quality issues that Ford is having is destroying the trust of their dealers and, more importantly, their consumers. And when they start losing the trust of their consumers because of quality issues, it's not just a OEM problem. It's not just a Ford namesake problem. It's a problem for these dealerships as well. So I'm here at Ford today because quality over the last few years has been a major issue for Ford, so much so that it's actually hurting Ford's brand. So quality concerns for Ford, it's not a new thing. They've actually been dealing with this for years and years and years, and this is actually a problem that Ford itself knows that it needs to handle. In fact, one of the things that the current CEO, Jim Farley, talked about when he came on as the new CEO is that they had to get quality under control, and it seems like they're actually moving in the wrong direction. So recently there was a poll taken by a lot of dealers to recognize who was the least trusted franchise to actually have your dealership through. And you got to think that a lot of these franchise owners, even the one that I'm walking on right now, they have multiple franchises between different brands. This one itself I know has Toyota, they have Chevy, GMC, a Honda dealership. So many of these franchises, they go across multiple brands. So they actually have first-hand experience working with all the different OEMs, and Ford was voted the least trusted of all of these brands. And there's going to be multiple reasons for this. One, Ford is pushing out a lot of EVs that these dealers can't sell. They don't like that, and a lot of these dealers recognize that they're not going to be able to sell these EVs, but they still have to do build-outs for charging stations and just having the space to put these EVs on their lot when they know that they can't sell them. Two, these dealerships know that the price of these vehicles have to come down, and what's Ford said for the new coming, the 2024s, MSRPs are actually going to be higher this year than they were last year. And dealers don't like this because they're already having a hard time selling all these $70,000, $80,000 trucks now. They need more Mavericks, they need more entry-level vehicles to be able to sell to consumers, because right now the environment is not very good to actually sell a lot of these big expensive trucks. But the biggest reason why the trust from Ford has left these dealers is the quality. So what's happening is that when the quality suffers across these trucks, across these vehicles that these dealers have to sell, it's going to take consumers away.
A growing number of mechanics believe modern Ford vehicles have become far more complicated to repair than they need to be. They point to engine bays packed with tightly packaged components, software-controlled systems, and repairs that often require specialized diagnostic equipment or programming before the vehicle is back on the road. What used to be a relatively straightforward repair can now take significantly more time and money. Many technicians also say that as vehicles become more dependent on electronics, a single failed sensor or module can affect multiple systems at once, turning what seems like a minor issue into an expensive repair. Combined with higher parts prices and more labor-intensive jobs, owners can end up facing repair bills that are much larger than they expected. For many mechanics, the biggest frustration isn't just fixing the vehicle, it's seeing how difficult routine repairs have become compared to older models. They argue that while modern technology has added new features and capabilities, it's also made many vehicles more complex to maintain over the long term. That's why more technicians are encouraging buyers to look beyond horsepower and features and pay closer attention to long-term repairability before purchasing a new vehicle.